Okay, hey everybody. Russell Hill, 2023 NADA. Listen, this is exciting. Hold on a second. This is really exciting, okay? I have Art Shaw with RepairPal, the owner of RepairPal. I have Kathleen also, who's the Chief Revenue Officer. We have several other people around. We just couldn't get everybody in today. But I'd also like to say this. We met Art. We did a WTF, and for those of you who don't know, that's what the FixedOPS. We did a WTF with Art Shaw, an amazing company. We endorse him. No, I'm not being paid to say that, but most of our clients actually use RepairPal, and we just have some real, what do you call it? I'll figure it out in just a minute. But in the meantime, Art,
synergy.
Tell us a little bit about what you've experienced here so far. What's the show been like for you?
You know, it's been great because we now have a bigger presence than we've had before, and so we're having more and more conversations, and it really seems to be resonating. Dealers lose 80% of the FixedOPS business post-warranty, and that's just sort of the state of what has been acceptable or done for years.
Which is not acceptable.
It doesn't seem to me that it should be.
Me either.
Right? Because a dealer is a great place to get a car fixed. Incredible service, incredible training and parts. People leave the dealer for one reason, overall, dominant one reason, which is price.
Yep.
They're worried about price. It's not actual price, it's fear of price.
Right.
Price perception. And so what's fun in the show is to watch how many people hear that and realize I don't have to lose 80%. I've been trying to price fair. I want to run a fair business with a fair, good profit.
And we brought it on ourselves
Yes.
as an industry.
Yeah. And so to see this conversation about it doesn't have to be this way, but you have to understand what the consumer wants. It's not just about building better systems.
Sure.
You know, texting, sure, that's great.
Yeah.
But how do you actually get to the point where you talk to a consumer about what they're worried about?
True.
And that's a great conversation, and it's great to hear dealers saying, you're right, I've been running my business that way for a long time. Help me understand how to change that.
Right. Kathleen, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, look, so for me, it's always all about the people.
Right.
And we were just talking sort of before we went on camera here about how dealerships have to take better care of their people. So one of the things that they can do, which will help them actually to make the profit that they're looking for, is to really empower people in service lane.
Empower.
And so what's been cool
Great
for
word.
me is our existing customers are coming by and they're saying, look, my advisors love this. And they love it because they can finally prove that we're fair priced. And so, you know, something that you have implemented at your dealership, which you think is customer focused, is actually making a difference for your employees as well. Because guess what? The right people want to do the right things for your customers.
They do.
And so, you know, being able to equip them to do that is personally very satisfying.
No, that's great. I bet, so we all know Michael Barrich, right?
We
Yes.
do.
He's got some initials. I'm only going to use two, TT. Okay? Now, he really got me involved in what you're doing, introduced me. Now, RepairPal's been around a long time with independents.
Yes.
Now you're moving into the franchise.
Yes.
When we first got involved with Michael 2 years ago or something like that, it was relatively new to the franchise dealers.
Yep.
But let me tell you all something. Now, we just finished 3 workshops here on EV and the future of fixed operations. Now, you don't know that because you didn't attend the seminar, so shame on you. but I got to tell you, we brought it full circle, and one of the things I talk about, particularly at the end, to bring it all home, along with what Kathleen was talking about, it's about transparency and taking care of your people. I know there's other companies out there, but the one I know of, when the customer first drives across the threshold, is like a UVI, where it knows everything. It's very transparent. If something comes up with the customer, they can show you didn't have an oil leak this time. When it's on the lift in the back and they're rotate and balance and their rotors are scorched and their pads are gone, well, you got a video to show that. That's transparent. And then when we get to displaying and talking about pricing, they always have to think about it because we've set this up. No, it's not the customer's fault. It is our fault. We set this up over the last 20, 25 years, and as a result, 16 non-franchised entities exist around franchise dealers for the same things. We're not transparent. So now with RepairPal, you can see exactly how transparent you are, and you're empowering people to be able to make decisions about getting these done without feeling like you're being sold something that you don't necessarily need. We're stopping all that because of transparency. We're taking that back. And then when you talk about electric vehicles coming back into the market, that the independents for a while aren't going to be able to do anything with, we have another opportunity to take control and seize back, because a franchise dealer is equipped like no other to be able to handle any and all of needs. Now we're talking total transparency, which is where RepairPal comes in. So we got to know him more and more and more, and then Art came on, and we did a WTF with him, and next thing I know, and we have one sponsor, and that's RepairPal. We're very selective about who we do business with and who does business with us. I'm sure they are too, right? It's about character
Absolutely.
and integrity. Your name being associated with ours, or ours being associated with you.
That's right.
Straight up, the best people and one of the best companies, the only company I know of that actually has the pricing transparency that they do. Right, Art?
That's exactly right. And
they didn't pay me. Okay, you're saying, okay.
No, we really appreciate that, Russell. We're always delighted to be here. What you do is so amazing, and the way you do it, who you are, I've said that so many times. Really, really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Means a lot.
And it's the same thing when your customers, your guests see that you're fair priced. And when your employees, your people know that they're offering the consumer fair price. And we're not saying low price. Consumers actually want quality.
Yeah.
They just want transparency and fairness.
That's it. They'll pay for it.
They'll pay for it.
Yes, they will.
Yes. But they won't necessarily believe the dealer, given all the history of the many different practices that have existed for so long. They won't believe the dealer per se. So you could be very attentive to fair pricing and labor rates, and yet consumers won't know. They won't know who is fair and who isn't. And we help that, and we're honored to work with high quality, fair price dealers and help consumers realize what a great place to get your car fixed.
Now, I grew up on the variable side, ran stores for a lot, got into the vendor side, which seems to be the case. Most general managers aren't, they're variable people. So with what you've seen out here, are you seeing the same thing, Kathleen and Art, that I'm seeing? We're seeing a lot of attention being paid to fixed operations. We know dealers have gotten fat and sassy the last couple of years, and that's okay. But think about some of the things that we're doing with the people you're selling. You're selling them out of your PMA anyway. Service is a huge focal point. And if you're not equipped with a company like this and people like this, you're missing the boat. Are you seeing a lot of attention, both of you, being paid to fixed operations?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly think that it is becoming quickly the most important component at a dealership, right? And dealers who are forward thinking and who understand, that they need to not just take care of the customer during the car buying experience, but for the lifetime while the customer sits in that brand, right? Are the ones that are ultimately going to win. The brand's going to win because the customer's going to have a great brand experience, and that particular dealer is going to win because they're taking great care of a customer throughout the customer's lifetime. And FixedOPS is, of course, a really, really important part of that, and it's where the ongoing relationship with the customer is built. Whatever happens in that service drive overshadows what happened on the sales floor.
Absolutely. You're right. Most GMs come up through variable, so that's what they're more familiar with. What's really interesting is this onslaught of dealers getting the integration with online means the showrooms, some of it is supply constrained, but the showrooms don't need to be so huge.
That's right.
But what do you want to use that local facility for? What do you want to use your dealership for if you're complementing it with online?
Right.
You want to use it to generate revenue from fixing cars.
That's right.
So you're better off having more bays.
Right.
You have to have enough cars to delight people, but you don't need those huge, huge showrooms anymore with cars because people are integrating online. Designing online. So what's the beauty? The beauty is that local relationship, and that's all about service.
It's all about service.
And if people don't stay with you because they're presuming before they walk in that you're not fair priced, even when you are, how do you bridge that gap?
This is a prime opportunity for all of us. Kathleen and I were talking right before we got on here. Some of the things that I talked about when I brought home the fixed EV and the future of fixed operations. If people leave for $3 or $4 an hour to go someplace else, they're not leaving for the money. Now, is there maybe, okay, say, Russell, you can't say that. Okay, maybe I can't. Maybe 3 or 4% might do that. But if somebody's leaving for $3 or $4 an hour, they're leaving because they're unhappy and they were already thinking about it anyway. They were just looking for the carrot to get them out of the door. Now, they may very well have made a mistake and end up coming back. We need to take care of our people. Let's be transparent with them. We have Gen Z, Gen Y, and all kinds of people coming up in the industry. It's not just about the money. They want to know they count, they matter, they make a difference. They belong to something. They feel like they're a part of something and tied to something. Somebody cares about who they are. If they're doing that with your people, you're going to stop the technician problem. You're going to stop the advisor problem, and you're going to stop the defection bleeding that's going on in your service department. Only if you use companies like RepairPal in one facet of that transparent experience, right?
Absolutely. Well said. It's perfect. It's not even the $3 or $4. They don't know.
That's right.
They don't know, and so the option is go somewhere else.
Yep.
And as soon as that happens, chance of you getting it back is low.
Yep.
So imagine if you bridge the gap right up front, and your BDC says, "Hey, Russell, you really do need that repair," and adds these simple words, "And we're RepairPal certified for fair pricing." The results we've seen are fantastic. 20-25% increase in win-backs because you put that right up front.
That's substantial.
It's huge. And it's right up front so they don't have to worry. It's not $3, it's the uncertainty of, what am I paying? Oh, you as a dealer have taken the time and shown the interest in my comfort to get certified for fair pricing. That's great.
I love the way you said that. And the reason is, a lot of people, no doesn't mean no. No means I need more information. Say, I understand your reluctancy, and my bad for not supplying the information you need, and then you go right into what you're talking about. I mean, those customers are coming back to you. So we talked about electric a minute ago, too. This is a rare opportunity because they have to come to the franchise dealers. If we all get into action, we're not just making this up doing this. These are real things that are going on. You all know exactly what we're talking about because that's the buzzword out in the industry. The grosses are coming down, the inventories are starting to go back up, and why they pay such little attention to fixed operations on marketing it is beyond me. We need to get into the game. And I think I talk to some people, Kathleen and Art, depending on who they are. It's either 80-20, 70-30, 65-35, but there's a huge defection rate going on, okay?
Absolutely.
That's our fault. That's not the customer's fault. Tires, oil changes, those are the two biggest defection points. We're getting into that game. I was recently talking to somebody, I can't say his name, and he was also talking to somebody, I can't say his name. But listen, when he said...
You can say Kathleen and
very secret conversations you're having.
When he said that...
Double secret.
When he said that he had 1,600 franchises, we immediately knew who it was. It was Discount Tire, okay? And the way I understand the conversation, just keeping it short, was he was a little concerned as he was having dinner. He said, "What are you concerned about?" Dealers are starting to figure it out. We do tires and wiper blades. Dealers are equipped to handle everything. Right. And with the EV, they got to come there. The tire business, it's slowing down for them. They're starting to get a little scared. And then that relationship, that value building, when it comes, they had it coming across, they had it in the back, and now they have it with enough information to make the most intelligent decision. You don't have to be the cheapest. You just got to provide value. People will pay for value.
Yeah, absolutely.
And transparency.
Absolutely.
So, any final thoughts on that?
Well, nobody wants to be ripped off. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
That's right.
So,
and
a
they
lot of
feel
times,
like it.
Yeah, a lot of times when a dealer loses a customer, they think, oh, that customer couldn't afford me anyway. Who cares? It's not about that.
That's right.
Right? And you can help your customer.
That's
you probably have a financing solution or something. You can help them to afford it if that's really where the rub is. But nobody wants to be ripped off.
No.
And look, your employees don't want to work somewhere where they're being asked to work with a customer who thinks they're being ripped off. That's
True.
nasty.
Yeah.
Right? And so the kinder and gentler we can make the transaction on both sides, you're going to end up with employees who are actually able to sell service, techs who aren't just focused on, doing a diag and then losing the car.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Absolutely.
And then you're going to retain the customer as well. So it works on a three-pronged approach, and that's all centered around price transparency. And it's the don't take our word for it.
It is.
Here's an independent third-party RepairPal showing
That's right.
that we are fair priced, and it makes a difference.
Well, it's a long game.
Yes.
They're coming to you for a particular reason.
That's right.
Free oil changes or whatever it is. and you start to build that relationship and that momentum, and then you blow it because you're not transparent.
It's
Right.
so time to break the paradigm that after warranty, when the repairs start getting more and more meaningful, relevant, and revenue driving, that 80% of people leave over time. By the time the car is average age, not end age, average age, we can break the paradigm. And you have to do that by addressing the number one concern, which is price transparency. And when you do, you find you can charge a fair, great profit, MSRP.
And people will pay for it.
And people will pay average dealer labor rates, yes. Not everyone, but you will capture
absolutely.
a huge amount. And the ROI you see by capturing win-backs, we have service directors putting signage up because they want people to feel comfortable from the get-go.
Yes.
Right? Or here's an estimate. Let me show you it's fair price based on RepairPal. It just breaks down that
They're not used to that.
They're not.
No.
And customers are delighted that you've taken the time to do it, and the ROI is huge.
It's a pivotal time. Jerry and I, about a year ago, the EV thing happened, and everybody's crying, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to make any money. We're not going to. Now it's shifted from that because it doesn't look like it's going to be a tsunami, which it's not, okay? And now they're starting to focus because of the message that Kathleen, you and Art and I are talking about, and other people are resonating that, hey, it's about the experience, it's about the relationship, and it's about transparency. You can have one or the other, but if you don't have the transparency, you're done. It doesn't make any difference. You're done, right? Do you agree?
That's right.
Yep.
Well, listen, another successful short that went a little longer because we had Kathleen Long, the CRO, Art Shaw, the owner of RepairPal 2023 NADA. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming out and visiting with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks.